J&R Schugel is not a very old trucking company compared to most of the trucking companies I have talked about before. However, J&R Schugel has made their mark on the trucking industry. The company got its start when Jerry and Rich Schugel had a vision and acquired their first trucks. Hi, I'm Logan, the 64th Gear Jammer Skeele, and this is another episode of Toy Talk. Today's episode is about a brief history of J&R Schugel Trucking Company and a Pete 352 DCP did for J&R Schugel. Schugel Trucking Company began in 1974 when Harold Schugel acquired a small fleet of trucks and trailers. Jerry and Rich joined their father Harold, and the three of them created J&R Schugel Trucking. The three of them had a novel idea. They wanted to provide quality service by providing their customers with on-time deliveries at reasonable rates. Having 15 power units and 20 trailers, they set out to make their mark on the trucking world. Apparently, their idea worked, and their company experienced success. By 1998, their company had grown to include 350 power units and 550 refrigerated trailers. In 2005, Jerry and Rich passed the family legacy on to their sons. Maintaining the same business practices that their fathers started with, the company continued to grow. Apparently, most trucking companies measure growth by the number of power units and trailers in their fleet instead of revenue. After 40 years in business, the Schugel fleet had grown to over 600 power units and 1,000 trailers. In 2014, J&R Schugel celebrated 40 years as a leader in the transportation industry. The same year, J&R Schugel decided to become an entirely employee-owned company. This was a new concept in ownership of trucking companies that was gaining popularity. Let's take a moment and look at entirely employee-owned companies. This concept started in the mid-19th century. Employees of large companies such as Procter & Gamble that worked for 20 years or more and retired had no income. The leaders of those 19th century companies decided to set aside stock in the company that would be given to the employees when they retired. How to tax the stock when sold became a problem. In 1956, Louis Kelso invented the first ESOP, Employee Stock Ownership Plan, which allowed the employees of Peninsula newspapers to buy out the company founders. Many changes have occurred to the Kelso plan, but today the idea remains, and many companies are adopting the idea as a great way for the employees to have a real stake in the company they work for. Would you like to work for a company that you own a part of? Let me know down in the comments. And here we go, guys. This is the Pete 352 110-inch bunk with 40-foot refrigerated van trailer for J&R Schugel Trucking Inc. This one was a co-op release where normally the J&R Schugels were internal releases, but this vintage one they let us do a few for the dealers. And here is the item number, 60-1471. And here it is out of the box. It is a good looking truck. It's in the right color blue for J&R Schugel. It does have that 110-inch bunk and a nice Thermo King reefer on the trailer. Now we'll go on and look at the trailer. You'll notice it's that 40-foot vintage reefer van trailer.
They use the same trailer for the dry vans, but this one's set up as a reefer, just a different interior, plus the Thermo King on the front. It has the J&R Schugel logo right there with the 2 stripes, which is very, very, very classic for them. It has chrome 10-hole wheels with nice soft rubber tires on them. Underneath, you got the fuel tank here for the reefer, screw down landing gear, spare tire with spare tire carrier, air brake canisters on the axles, and the bars that make the axles look like they're slidable. They're not, but it looks like it. There's also this little plastic loop here, which would hold the air lines that go to the brakes, but there's no lines underneath. Kingpin is set up for standard DCP first gear Advantage Diecast type 5th wheels. On the front, J&R right there on the front of the Thermo King's reefer. Thermo King logo and then Thermo King written out up top. Parts for it and a trailer number right there on the front, which is a great place to put the trailer number and logo on the front, so when the trailer's parked in a lineup, you can figure out whose trailer is whose. This one is 5126. It's also the battery boxes and the lines for hooking up the reefer and hook to the trailer, to the tractor. There's marker lights up top, and then there's marker lights down the side, just like the real ones should have. On the passenger side, very much the same as the driver's, only you got the J&R up to the front. Instead of mirrored, it's up to the front like it should be. Onto the back, we got white mud flaps with J&R New Ulm, Minnesota tampoed on each mud flap. Brake lights, turn signals. It's got the cam locks and the hinges tampoed in silver. Also J&R Schugel written on the doors. Really, really nice. The doors do open. There's marker lights on top, and then it has the detailed reefer interior, which is the insulated floor and the insulated walls. Really cool. I love this trailer. It is such a classic of the 70s that it's just amazing. Now let's go on and put the landing gear down and then talk about the tractor. And isn't this gorgeous? The 110-inch, which is the double bunk Peterbilt 352. Peterbilt logo, marker light, turn signal, which is orange on the front and red on the back. J&R Schugel Inc., New Ulm, Minnesota, tampoed right there on the door. Door handle is tampoed. Truck number of 88 tampoed on the side. The little door handles for both the toolbox doors are tampoed in silver. Then we've got all of our truck numbers right there, tampoed in white. This has the grab bar and then the step here on the battery boxes instead of the grab bar step. The other one looks cool, but it's so fragile it breaks so much that I prefer this one. Mirrors are chrome. It has the little spotlight up there that's chrome. Handle is also chrome. Fuel tank is chrome. We've got chrome quarter fenders, chrome diamond plate deck plate, chrome pogo stick, and then you can see the lines up on the pogo stick, the air lines and brake lines. We've got a 5th wheel here, which is set up for, obviously, DCP trailers. Chrome 10-hole wheels, front and rear with soft rubber tires. On the front, we have chrome bumper with the beveled ends on it. White little paint jobs for the driving lights. The headlights there are 4 individual jewel styles into chrome bezels, and then we got a nice chrome grille. Peterbilt logo is tampoed right above the grille. Then you have your 2 chrome, they're just chrome tampoed on for the windshield wipers and the little grab bar so you can pull yourself up to wash the windows. Hard plastic windows that are clear and you can see inside. It's got 2 nice seats that are brown dashboard, and a gray steering wheel. There's also a visor on this one that is body match painted blue. It's not chrome, it's blue. Onto the passenger side, grab bar, the loop step for the passenger to get in, Peterbilt logo, marker light. It's got this little mirror here by that little window so the driver can see beside him. Turn signal with orange on the front, red on the back. Nice chrome mirror. It has the wind wing and it has the regular window open. Truck number 88, truck numbers and J&R Schugel on the door. Door handles are also tampoed. Note, this guy has a beveled tip stack only on one side. Just the one stack. It does not have both. And then it's not hooked up very well. There we go. Now it's hooked up right. Got to be careful when you lower these stacks that they hook into the lower exhaust pipe coming out from the engine. Chrome fuel tanks, chrome wheels, chrome quarter fenders, all the fancy details. But you can see here, one stack only, which is classic. No vertical air intake on this one. The back we also have J&R Schugel, New Ulm, Minnesota, tampoed on both of the white mud flaps and red tampos for the brake lights. See the back of the cab, there's a little cutout to help with the engine, just like the real ones. Underneath, rear differentials, drive shafts, air brake canisters, and then over here we've got the air intake filter here. We've got air tanks, and then the bottom of the engine, which is painted in yellow, which is correct for fleet colored Caterpillar motors, black for the transmission. It has positionable steering, not true steering, just positionable. It clicks in place. Up top, note, no air intake. You don't see any high mount air intake on this one, but individual pieces for the marker lights, which are chrome, and then little orange painted on the front, and then chrome air horns. Cab does tilt. Like I said, you got to be careful about making sure the exhaust hooks up right there. See the exhaust coming off the engine, off of the turbo. Then there's all the intake stuff, and then there's a little intake, which I'm not really sure where it's going because there's nothing up high like there would be. Caterpillar motor here, top of the transmission, really nice inline 6 battery boxes and all. Really, really good job that they've done on this one. The only thing, hooking up the exhaust isn't the easiest, plus making sure the clips catch in place and they don't really hold the cab down like they do on some of the other ones. They're not the greatest. You'll notice that it's even pushing the cab up just a little bit. That's the exhaust. Now let's go on and hook him up. That is the 1/64 scale Diecast Peterbilt 352 with 110-inch double bunk cab, pulling a 40-foot vintage Reefer van trailer for J&R Schugel Trucking of New Ulm, Minnesota. The DCP by First Gear co-op release.
Employee ownership was found attractive to J&R Schugel, so in 2014, the company became wholly owned by their employees. This idea has worked because many employees and drivers have been with the company for years. Many of the drivers have logged more than 3 million miles. And the company is still growing, so I would imagine it is working for them. Thanks for watching. Please go and hit that like button, subscribe for more DCP product reviews and histories of the real trucks.